Hello everyone, happy Monday. Thank you for joining me here. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for the beginning crafter. And tonight we are going to be working on the second block of the month, February's block of the month for the Aurifil Designer of the Month quilt. So it is by Kathy Ross. It is Pompeii is the city and Pompeii red. And we are doing these poppies that have been all embroidered. So they've been embroidered with machine. And we're like thread painting. So I've never done thread painting before. So we are going to give that a go over this next week. And I'm excited to give this a try. So thanks everyone for joining me here tonight. This is day one that we're working on February's Aurifil block of the month. So it's nice to see you guys pop in. We'll be working on that. So I need to pick fabric. We will start the applique process. I'm hoping we'll be ready to actually start the thread painting tomorrow at some point. I'm hoping we can get going on that pretty quickly here. So, all right, you guys, I'm going to flip you around and we'll get going. Just a reminder, this week is the last week you can get the houseplants embroidery of the month. So make sure to check that out. I have a link below. And we are still doing our koalas if you want to make up a koala or donate to our koala fundraiser. I will be starting the quilt soon. I'm super excited. We are up to 124 koalas, which is crazy. So thanks everyone for sending them in. There I see everyone popping in now. So all right, let's get this, let's test this thread painting stuff out. Again, we'll probably get going on that tomorrow. The applique we're gonna do tonight. So hello everyone. All right, I'm gonna flip you around and we will get going here. All right. Hold on here. All right, there we go. So, all right, so this is what we are working on tonight. It is by Kathy Ross. But check this out. So here's the pattern. You can go to the Aurifil website. So again, this is Aurifil. That's the company that makes the thread. So they make that thread with the colored spools here. The orange spools are their 50 weight thread. But they are doing this quilt-along, and every month is a new color, a new designer, and a new city that it's based on. So this one is by Kathy Ross. For February, it is Pompeii and red, and it's the colors of Italy, so is the name of the quilt here. So she has thread painted, if we zoom really into here, there's 3 different color fabrics here, but they've all been decorated with different colors of thread. It's pretty crazy. I've never done that before, and look at these leaves. All of that is thread painting. I'm excited to give this a try. I know some of you guys have been saying that you haven't done this either. Some of you have, so you're going to have to help me along the way. But I'm pretty excited to give it a go. So I have it printed out. I have it printed out in black and white, but that will help me. You know, we have the template here. So we're going to start by making that template up. Actually, I think we'll start by choosing some fabrics. So I'm going to get you guys up here. Okay, I got my bin of fabric. So one of the kind of rules that I set for myself for this quilt is this is the gray color. So I have this kind of gray fabric. It's kind of drapey, so I don't know how well it's gonna hold itself for this needle or for this thread painting, but we're gonna just see. But this is gonna be my constant through every single block. So this is my January block, and you can see I used it for the borders. January, the color was gray. So that's January's. So for February, I'm going to use this as the background. It's kind of fun because it's got all these stripes, and I think that'll be pretty. So we'll cut our 12.5-inch square from here. I'm tempted to add more edge around that 12.5 just because we are going to be handling this a lot. But I have a ruler that is perfectly 12.5, and that's making me want to just do the 12.5 and not add any more. So I might just be daring and not add any more onto it just to make my cutting easier. We'll see. But anyway, so that'll be my background. All right, we need a green. So here are the colors. There's 4 colors. I'm looking at the instructions. We need a green, and we need a red, a light red, and a dark red. So that's gonna give us our texture in those poppies. So you know what? Let's keep this out, and then we can kind of lay our fabrics on here. I'm gonna just, I'm noticing these 2 right away. These are kind of like a nice, I would consider this like a medium and a dark. This could even maybe be a light and a dark. I think over here there's some similar ones that maybe are have more of that dark color throughout. I think maybe this one's better. So we got 2 there. That would be pretty. What does it look like on the, oh, maybe this is too dark maybe. Against, like if I'm holding it up just like this, it looks fine. Like if I'm just considering these 2 colors, but once I lay it on the fabric here, the gray, this is maybe a little dark. So let's put it to the side. I like this one. What else do we got for red? I mean, this is kind of almost the same, but that's maybe not a bad idea. And then we have, that's a hair lighter. So there isn't too much difference between the fabrics. It doesn't look like the dark, medium, and light. So maybe we don't have to be so drastic. Like maybe they can be kind of close in tone. Let's, here we could go lighter. Like this would be kind of like a dark, medium, light in theory. That would be awfully pretty on here. I'm not sold on this guy yet, and I actually do kind of miss him. Gosh, these 2 look pretty together too. But I do think that's a little dark for this, so let's stick to these little bit lighter ones. I'm unsure about that. Let's find something else for that. But let's stick to these for now. Okay. Oh, the other rule was that I have to use stuff from this bin. So this is my excess weird fat quarters bin. I kind of want to use that up. Wow, this is decorative. This is maybe just too over the top. There's just straight red. That actually might be pretty. There, that's kind of like a dark, medium, light. How do you like that? I think I'm gonna go with that. So it's not too patterny. It's gonna have the overall feel of these colors. This red really pops off of there. I mean, that's poppy red right there. So okay, you know what? I think I'm gonna go with these. They're pretty close to what what Kathy, the designer, has used in hers. So I think I'm gonna go with those. Ooh, yeah, I'm liking this. Oh, we still need a green. So, and we can, I think someone just mentioned here, we can adjust this color a little bit by whatever we use to stitch on top. So if I want this to feel darker, I can use some darker red thread when we do our thread painting. So we can kind of meld the color a little bit. I think I kind of have limited thread color, so we're going to see how that goes. All right, let's pick a green. I'm just kind of looking at maybe these just simple greens. And that's too Christmassy, I think. Let's go with this. I want it like a little, it's kind of a fun fabric. Ooh, that kind of pops. And then we can do like a darker colors on top. That's a maybe. What else do we have? Oh, here we can make it look a little bit more olive-y, maybe. Yeah, I think maybe that's a little bit more subdued. I like that. Oh, we got one hiding down here. Okay, what else do we have for green? You know what, I think I'm kind of liking this. Most of our greens are over here. You know what, I think let's just go with that. Let's do this. So, done, decisions made. I'm going to close this up. We'll just set this on the ground. Okay, so this is kind of our plan here. This is going to actually end up being a pretty colorful quilt once we have all of these in here. This is pretty. I like it. Okay, so this is going to be our dark, our medium, and our light. So we just have to remember that. All right, let's start out by cutting our fabric piece. Yeah, I think we can do that first. That'll help because then I'll get this big bulky fabric out of the way. All right, so we need a 12.5-inch piece, and this is going to be our background fabric. All right, how did we do this? This is, again, that weird kind of fabric that I found. It's a little drapier. Like, I think it's meant to be used to do, like, clothing-y stuff, like a more apparel stuff, but we're attempting to quilt with it. It is really flowy. I'm still not sure this was a good decision, but I'm stuck with it now, so we're gonna see. There is in the instructions, and I have to find some of this yet, but there is a stabilizer that we are going to want to put on the back of this. Sylvia, yes. So we will be putting this in a hoop, and we will be putting a stabilizer on the back. So some sort of paper iron-on stabilizer. I think I have some of that somewhere. I just have to find it. But that's going to make this whole thing a lot stiffer, because right now, I mean, it's pretty loose, right? This is going to be difficult to move around. When we actually do it, we are going to be having that stiff background and putting in a hoop. So then we just move that hoop around. Charlotte, you did cut yours a little bit larger. Oh, I should do that. Should I just do that? I really wanted to not have to deal with all that cutting, but it's probably a good idea. So this is a, I'm going to just remove this. We don't need that anymore. This is a 12.5-inch ruler. I don't know. You know what? It doesn't say in the instructions to cut larger, but I'm guessing it's a good idea. Fine, let's just cut this a little bit larger. I'm going to need my other ruler for that, I think. All right. I think I'll start by cutting these two edges here. And you guys can see a little bit. Let me get that a little bit better for you. And I think I'll just extend it a little bit. I'll just shimmy this up a little bit and extend it like an inch. We'll do it 13.5 inches or whatever for right now. All right, so let's got my rotary cutter. And I have some new gloves. So Noeline had gotten me these, so I'm gonna test these out tonight. All right, so I've been trying to use these protective gloves for cutting and also for like free motion quilting. It's got the rubber bottoms, so I'm gonna do this. All right, so all of you said cut larger. Fine, I'll cut it a little bit larger. I knew that was a good idea, I just didn't wanna. So actually, I think, should I even be using this square at all, I'm wondering. I think, you know what, I think let's just use a normal ruler. I think we'll need the square to get the other side, but I don't know, let's just start like this. So let's do like the 13.5. I'm just gonna cut a nice edge here. Oops, a little bit slippery here, hold on. We're going to be shimmying this fabric over it too, because it is a little floppy here. All right, you know what? I think I'm going to see what's the best way to do this. You know what? I think I'm not going to worry. I have the selvage here. I think I'm going to just leave that, because remember, we are doing it a little bit bigger, so I'm going to consider that part of the 13 inches, because then I could just put my ruler down here, get like 1 inch there, and we'll trim there, and I'm going to have to add another inch on that. All right, I'm going to move the camera a little bit so it doesn't have to. Yeah, you're right, Lucy. It doesn't have to be exact. You're right. So that's, yeah, I'm not going to worry too much. You're right. I don't even have to have it perfectly square, do I? So let's just trim. Oh, and I'm already veering off the ruler because I'm in a really weird position. So I'm going to just go a little bit extra because it doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm going to give myself an inch over here and have it lined up with this edge as best I can. Yeah, we will trim this down for sure. So, all right, last cut. This is an easy cut because it's in a normal position for my hands here. There. Whew, all right, my least favorite part of this whole process is done. That makes me happy. That's the best part. So I'll toss that for now. But look, we're gonna have like these really pretty stripes going on here. Okay, rulers, you can go away too. All right, we'll get our heat up our iron. We're gonna probably need that in a bit. So there. So here is our background. So we could either do, you know, it's got these lines on, so we could have the poppies going, like the lines could be vertical or they could be horizontal. I don't really know what I like better, but I suppose that we can decide that later. Let's prep our pieces. This is maybe a little light, but I think we're going to go with it. Okay, let's keep going here. I want to get this applique as far as we can. And actually, let's just toss that to the side for now. All right, so in the instructions, make sure that you're printing the instructions out at 100% or actual size. Then it'll be the right size when it comes out. I'm going to grab my light table. You probably don't need a light table for this. I did put a link to one if you are looking for a light table, but I just find it a little helpful. I have it on right now, and I'm just going to try and match up these spots. So it said you could kind of match up these lines, but that didn't really seem to be working. I mean, this doesn't actually look like it's matching up perfectly. So we're going to kind of wing it a little bit. So there we go. Let's see. I think I'll just take some of that tape that I took off my ruler. You can check the square. Let's check the square now. I'm going to tape this off quick. Taping it in spots where I don't need to trace. But I printed my actual size on my printer, and I'm pretty confident with that. Let's try this. Yep, that's a pretty good 1 inch, so that's looking pretty good. I just put it over 1 inch of my ruler there. If it does measure 1 inch, then you know you've printed that to the right size. That's what that 1 inch is for. All right, so next up, I want to trace every single piece here onto my Fusible interface. So my Fusible web. I'm using Seam 2. And this is what I like using. And I have a bunch of it yet. So this seemed to be working really well for us. Where it doesn't work as well is when I've been doing like hand stitching on top, then it's a little much. Oh, Jennifer, you printed yours at 75%. I bet you that looks pretty though as well. So you guys are saying a 1/4 inch. What are you talking about for there? Like that this is supposed to be a 1/4 inch, like folded over? I mean, I can kind of see it through my light table there. So, all right, and one thing to note, you guys, is that this is reversed. So I'm going to be drawing onto, you want to draw on the smooth side of your Fusible web. Mine happens to be smooth on both sides. This is nice because it's actually a sticker too. That's why I like the Seam. But all right, let's trace all of these little parts. This is the next little step of this. I'd like to get it as far as I can tonight. So one thing I did notice with this pattern, so here's the shape. You can kind of see it. All these other lines are suggestions of how to sew, like how to do the thread painting. What we're looking at now is these shapes. So you can kind of see it's that bigger outline, and they're also lettered. So the D fabric is our dark red, So that'll be this dark red here. Oh, you probably can't see with the light there, but that'll be our dark red. C is the light red, and the B's are just the plain red, and then there's a letter A, like all these A's are the green. So we need to trace all those. But one thing I'm noticing that's a little bit different from patterns like this that I've seen before is everything behind your frontmost shape should have a little bit of an edge, I think. So, for example, because you're laying it on top of each other, so you don't want to have it all perfectly lined up, you want to have the things further back have a little bit of an edge so that when you put the thing on front, the piece on front of it, it will for sure, you won't see that edge. You'll have that little bit of layer there. So that is not drawn in to here, so I'm going to add that, I think. So in this case, I think the thing that's most front is this letter D shape. But all the shapes behind it, I'm going to add a little bit of edge. So like this A, for example, I'm going to just bring it down a little bit more, add a little bit of an edge like that, just so I have a little bit of overlap. And then I'll use this as a guide later when I put it onto things. But right now, we need to just draw all these. And since there are so many pieces, I think I'm going to number every piece. So like, let's start. I'm going to name this 1. So we have the letter that denotes what color we're going to do, but I'm going to actually number every single piece here. And actually, after I do this first piece, I might do this giant green piece because I'll be like using up a lot of this steam. All right, the next thing is I want to make sure that I'm not going right up to the edge. I want at least like 1/8 of an inch because we are not actually going to cut these out on the lines right away. I'm going to cut them, oh, geez, I already messed up. I didn't have this whole thing on the paper, so I'm going to just leave that line for now. I was a little bit low there. The whole piece was not there. Actually, I'm going to erase that. I think I can fit that piece in a little bit more. I'm trying to conserve this paper. So let's just angle it like that. There we go. Now I have that whole piece. They're kind of like awkward shapes. Is this drawn in reverse? Yes, Gretchen, this is in reverse. So this will end up being flipped the other way. So everything we see here is reverse. So if you are using a fusible web that's different than this one, you're going to want the sticky or like the beady gluey side down, and you're going to want to be tracing like I am onto the smooth side. It doesn't really matter which way it faces ultimately, but it'll just face the opposite way. However, you're going to want to be consistent throughout the piece, because if you do some of these reverse and some not, then it will get messed up. All right, so I'm going to go 1. And you know what? I am going to try and do this gigungous planty bit here. My seam is kind of blooping in the middle here. We're just going to deal with it. All right, let's try and fit this in all nice. Wow, this is a big piece. I could maybe separate these pieces. Did any of you guys like do these in separate pieces, this big green area, or did you do it all as one? I think I'm going to try and do it all as one. One big giant piece. Guess I got to go vert or horizontal for that. And then we'll just try and fit all those other pieces in all the gaps. Yeah, my seam it's being all bumpy here, but I'm just going to deal. All right, let's start. You can actually tape this down. Maybe I will. Just because this is a large piece, I'm going to take some painter's tape. And I'm not going to tape it to the light table because I got to move that around, but I'm going to tape, we'll do 2 pieces. I'm going to tape my seam to the paper. Now when I move it around, it won't move. Oh, Lucy, you did separate it in both. Oh yeah, I suppose I could add the letter too. Yeah, let's add the letter too. Then we'll know what color it goes on right away. That's smart. Good idea, Kathy. I was thinking, oh, I just need to remember where it goes, but no, I need to actually know what fabric it goes onto. All right, so again, right here, this is going underneath another piece, so I'm actually going to extend it up. I am going to even draw it with a dotted line, so I know that that's the extended part. I just drew a little bit lighter. It's just a little reminder that that's the part that actually is going to be overlapped. And we're just going to have to, I'll wing that a little. I'll use this as a guide. I don't think I'm going to actually draw the flower to my back fabric. I think I'm just going to keep rearranging until it looks nice once we have all these pieces done. But you could transfer the whole entire design onto your background fabric and then place all your pieces perfectly right on the line. But I'm not going to deal with all that. I think it'll be easier just to kind of arrange these pieces and deal with however it ends up. I think it'll be pretty still. Okay, this was actually really helpful having this tape, so definitely I recommend that. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy that I'm doing this maybe one big piece, but I thought, yeah, why not? We'll give it a go. This is kind of a funny part of it. This is a leaf that actually crosses over a stem, but I'm melding it into one piece of fabric. Oh, here again, I gotta go a little bit more. So when we do the thread painting, I'm gonna have to like make it look like this leaf is in front. So all my stitches will have to go like over this leaf versus like stopping and going up the stem. So it makes it look like this leaf is in front. It's a little hard to trace. There we go. I'm getting confused by all the other lines on here, but we're working it out. Okay, so that's a first little part. Let's keep going. This is going to be interesting to cut out. A lot going on here. We've got a little, is this a little hole in here? I think it is. Yeah. Is it though? Did you guys cut out a little hole right here? I'm looking at the design. These leaves go like this. Oh, it doesn't look like she really, in her finished design, it doesn't look like there's actually really a hole there. I think I'm just going to leave it out for now. I'd love to see if you guys are working on this. If you've gotten anywhere on it yet, I'd love to see it in the group. Okay, again, I'm going to cross over a little bit here. Oh, Kathy, what did you do that sounds easier? For when the stems cross, I'd like to hear that. I missed that. All right, I think we're almost done. I just got this weird bubble in my stick and stitch, which is a bit annoying. It's getting kind of old. Hopefully this still works. It's probably time to order some more. Not stick and stitch. The steam is seam. This is pretty organic, so if we do something that looks a little weird, it's gonna still look fine. It's an organic looking flower. So they're really, I don't think you can really screw this up too much. All right, this is kind of like a little bud. All right, done. So, all right, good. Did that. I'm going to remove my little tapes. Okay, so that one was tough. Look at that crazy shape. All right, so now this is A. That's the green. Let's label it A, and I'm going to just give it a 2. Give it a big old 2 right there. 2. Like I would have messed up that piece. I know what that piece is. I'm going to remember that. Let's do this other let's do the other green pieces first. So that's this flower up here, and these middle pieces, these little guys in the center. So I'm just going to try and fit this in. So when you are doing other shapes, remember you do want to leave like a 1/4 inch or so in between, because we aren't going to cut these out directly on the line. We need a little buffer. So don't like snug them right next to each other like that. You are going to want to leave that little bit of gap. So this just kind of fits right in here. This little leaf. And again, I'm going to give it a little extra edge on this part here because there is some overlap, because it's behind other things. Oh, did some of you guys go to QuiltCon? I bet you that was really fun. I've not been to QuiltCon before. I'll have to try and get there at some point. All right, I'm labeling this 3. So this is A3. Now what? Okay, we have, what else can we fit in here? Oh yeah, I was going to do those other green pieces. Let's fit that guy in here. And then we're extending it again. So I'm going to call this A4. 4. Let's do this other one. I think we can probably fit that in a similar spot. So you can see I'm not caring about these being straight. I mean, these are all going to move around when I cut them out anyway, so I'm not too worried. I'm going to add that edge again. Oh, I didn't leave myself much space for that, but I think we're fine still. So this is A5. Okay, what else can we get out of here? I'm going to work on this flower first and then work my way this way, I think, just to make sure. Oh, that was at QuiltCon. Oh, cool. Oh, you posted a few pics. I'll have to go look in the crafters group. I'd love to see them. All right, so what's left here? B, C, B, these right here. So let's call this, where did we leave off? 5. Okay, so this is 6, 7, 8. Let's do 6 first. There, let's just go right there. So this I need to go behind, like give it a little buffer. So I'm doing that now. And now I'm on the main area again. Okay, B6. So it'd be nice if we got these all traced tonight and trimmed out, then we can start putting them on fabric. All right, here's C7. All right, I'm gonna go underneath again, giving myself the buffer. Oh, now this one's weird. Okay, so this is in front of it. So this is actually still behind, and here we go in front. Okay, this will be a little puzzle piece when we get it together, but I think it's going to be fun. All right, C7. Oh, use this funny little B shape. Can we get that in here? It's kind of an odd shape. Yeah, can't get it to fit. There. Nope, not quite. All right, let's put it down here then. Can I get it in this funny spot? Yeah, good. I can get it right there, I think. All right, I still have to extend it beyond a little bit. There we go. Now we're back on. Man, I feel like I'm in like full concentration mode, like tracing these, just getting it right. All right, B8. All right, I think we got this half. So before I forget it, let's get this little bee down here. Does that fit in here? Yeah. Okay. This overlaps. So I'm going to go a little outside this shape, and then, oh, it's got kind of like these little zigzaggies. That's cute. All right. B7, B8, this is 9. So B9. All right, let's number these. So, ooh, look at these little C's in there. Oh my gosh, there's a lot going on here. Okay, let's do B9. Okay, let's call this 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, wow, so there's 15 pieces total on here. That's quite a bit. Oh, you just posted, Kathy, you posted your block on the crafters page. Awesome, I will check that out when we're done here. I'm just gonna tuck this in right here, I think. So now this is the furthest most out piece. So I don't need to add any extra buffer on this one. I mean, this is drawn really organically, so if your line differs a little bit from this, I think it's going to be no problem whatsoever. All right, D10. Okay, this is a funny shape again. Go right there. I think it dips down in here. And I'm just going to give it extra like that. There we go, good enough. B11. Okay. Not sure I'll be able to get it all on this page. Hopefully, though. Okay. And it crosses over a bit. I think that'll do it. All right. C12. This will be a challenge putting it back together, I think. Just because I am giving it all that extra stuff here and there. Oh, you know what? I think we're going to get everything. Oh, good. That makes me happy. All right, let's get this. This is a kind of an odd little petal here. Oh, this is going to look so good when we piece it all back together, though. I'm pretty excited. All right, is it B? Yep, B13. And now we just have these little kind of nubbins, and we've just enough space for that for sure. These are like the inside of the petal. C14. C15. Hooey, man, I think we did it there. Is that everything? I think that is it. And look, we even fit it on one page, so that's pretty dang exciting. So, all right, let's cut these out. Yeah, the centers are green, but we stitch it. We're like thread painting it with black, so that's going to be really neat. We're going to add a whole extra layer of color with this, with our thread. And we have to pick out thread and all that yet too, so that'll be kind of interesting. All right, so let me see if I can grab one quick, my fabrics, or my paper scissors. Oh, I don't see it here, so we'll use the fabric scissors. All right, so I'm gonna just trim all of these out, and I'm gonna leave a little bit of edge around. So I don't need to do this perfectly. I wanna leave my my pencil lines intact. So at this point, when you are just cutting out the paper, you are not cutting directly on that line. That happens once we are on the fabric. And the reason for that is that we want to cut this line fresh and perfect on the fabric. We don't want to try and recut it on that exact same line. So I'm just not even being perfect here. Let's just get ourselves a little edge like that, and there we go. So I'm going to just gather all of our pieces. We're going to have a crazy, maybe I'll separate it by color right away. So all the D's I'll put over here. That's smart, because next up we're going to put all the colors, we're going to put it on the fabric. This is going to take a bit of time, so this is probably what we'll get done tonight, and then tomorrow we'll stick them on the fabric and we'll rearrange. So I think by the end of tomorrow, we might have this arranged and fused to our fabric. That would be fabulous. And then we'll get to thread painting after that. You know, Barbara, oh, you're asking Kathy. I know there was the question of what my fabric was made out of. I never found out. So I think mine is like a linen wool blend potentially, but I couldn't find it anywhere online. So I don't actually know what my back fabric is. So I don't know if that'll affect anything. We'll have to see. You know, by cutting all these smaller pieces out, I'm just going to kind of end up with that big piece. Okay, see. Actually, let's get that big piece out of the way now. I'm going to separate all these smaller pieces away from it. It's getting clumsy to cut out. There, set that aside. I'm not going to worry about cutting, I'm not going to worry about really cutting too far into here because, I mean, well, I will a little, but in theory, we're not going to save that little fabric that is going in here. So I don't have to be super perfect with that. We're just going to end up with some really odd shaped scraps. Am I worried about shrinking? Now I am. I don't know. I figure it's not going to shrink so much that it's going to make my quilt look horrible. I mean, I actually kind of like a little bit when quilts shrink up when you wash them and stuff, because then they get that like fluffy look, and I really kind of like that. Oh, here's a letter A. That's green. Didn't do that color yet. Don't have a stack for that yet. Okay, I think that's good enough. We don't have any other color in there. Nope, there's our green. So this is our big piece here. All right, make our A pile. That can go here. Use a couple more A's. Let's get those done. All right, A and A. This one's almost done. B. Okay, got this. This is it right here. All these little pieces. So you see, I'm totally not taking, I'm not cutting these perfect. They don't need to be perfect yet. Do I have any Pellin? Oh, SF101. I can use that to stabilize the background. I don't. So that is that spray. Pellin 101, or Pellin SF 101, isn't that that spray basting? I don't have any of that. So I I am going to have to stabilize the background fabric. I am going to have to do that. And I think I do have some sort of stabilizer here in my house. I just have to look for it. We will fuse that to the back. Heat and bond light. That sounds familiar. I might have some Pellon or some Pellon heat, or no, maybe it isn't Pellon. Some heat and bond light. I don't know. That might work. But yeah, I'm going to need to stabilize that background a bit. I'm going to have to see what I have for that. So I'll look for that tomorrow. Oh, so I should probably put that on before I do the applique? Is that what you're saying? Oh, you get it on the bolt. Oh, okay. You know what? I have all sorts of stabilizers, and I am pretty unfamiliar. Like, I don't use them all the time, so I will check what I have, and I will bring them all up, and we'll decide what I got. I don't want to buy anything. I'm gonna see what I have, and we'll go with that. Oops, that was a little close. But yeah, so I will get that for tomorrow, and yeah, maybe we'll fuse that first. Okay, so it's a woven fusible interfacing. I must have something like that. I'm gonna have to check. All right, here's a D. And these are both B's. Oh, there are really only two D's? Two of the dark colors? I guess so. So there's only two of the really dark colors here. Oh, that's interesting. I thought there was more of that. So there we are. Here are all of our pieces all ready to go. I think we do have some time left. So why don't we start sticking these on? I'm going to start with this little one. Then we can just get it out of the way. So the neat thing with this Steam-A-Seam 2 is that it's actually sticky. So instead of fusing it right away, I can just stick it on and then cut out my pieces and then fuse them. So, all right, this is just a solid piece of fabric. So I'm just going to, in theory, you're putting these on the wrong side of the fabric, but there's really no wrong or right side of this. So I'm going to just kind of stick it down, and then we'll give it a press, and then I'll cut them out. But actually tonight I think I might just press them down and trim it away, trim our fabric piece, and then tomorrow maybe we'll deal with pressing everything. So I'm taking that back paper off. There we go. So I'm revealing like a sticker here, and that's also our fusible. So I'm just going to kind of place this again on the wrong side of the fabric. I don't have a right or a wrong side to this, and I'm going to just get it right up to the edge there now. There, and then this sticks. Yep, wrong side, exactly. Get this side, come on, piece. This Steam-A-Seam can be tricky, like what side comes off easier. All right, and I'm going to just kind of nestle it right in there because I want to use the least amount of fabric as I can. And there, that's all I need of this red. Oh, I must have started rubbing this off with my hand. It looks pretty light. I'm just going to cut around there. So with any other piece, you would have to fuse right now, but since I'm using that Steam-A-Seam, I can stick it down first, which is great. So I can just hang out here like this, and I can actually fuse it later. So like that allows me to get this red fabric out of the way. I've less stuff sticking around here, and there we go. So this can be fused. Actually, let's just finish up this one piece, and then we'll continue with the process tomorrow with the other pieces. So we can get at least this one thing done. So, all right, I'm getting to the mat right here. My piece is actually, my iron is heated up already, so I'm actually fusing it. So again, it is only sticking right now. Now I'm actually fusing it. Once you get the heat on there, you are fusing it for real. And I think you only have to really hold it on there for like, 7 seconds or so. But there we are. They are fused. And at this point, once they are fused, now we can cut on those lines. Now we are making those perfect, perfect, perfect edges. So here's where we want to take our time and cut these out. So this is the part where you want to be careful, because we're doing raw edge applique where the edge is exposed. So you want those to be nice and pretty. I mean, we are going to be handling it quite a bit with the thread painting, so I suppose it doesn't have to be perfect. But in theory, where I was just really rough cutting this paper, here, my iPad's trying to talk to me. Okay, where I'm cutting it really rough, I cut around the paper edge really roughly. Here is where I want to be more exact. So cutting right on that line, and this is how we're going to have that perfect paper line. And this is all there is to the dark fabric. I mean, it's just these two pieces, it seems. And these are like those two most front pieces. Oh, I'm not sure I'm completely fused. I think, you know what? I think I just need to buy some new Steam-A-Seam. I think this is maybe getting a little old and it doesn't seem to be sticking or acting appropriately. I think it'll be fine for what we need it for, but ideally I think I might get this. Oh, good. Gretchen says she's feeling better about this. That's good. Yeah, right now it's a big puzzle piece because we've rotated things, we've moved them away from their normal spaces, so I'm really happy that we numbered and we lettered them. Keeping that letter, that was a good idea, because then I could sort them into colors right away, but there we are. So, see there now, if we turn it this way, this is the right side of your fabric now, so really pretty. So here's one of our first little petals. Ooh, this is going to be, it's such a rich, pretty red, this. So I'm excited. So that's one petal, and here is our other one. Actually, I think this might be the one that goes over here, and this one goes over here. Oh gosh, this has a bizarro shape. Huh, I guess it really does cut into there like that. I feel like I need to check. Yep, nope, this is how it goes. Plants of silly shapes. How do we find a spot on the background? So I'm going to just move my pieces around until it looks like it's in the center. One thing you can do is you could transfer the whole design onto your fabric. So let me just finish this cut quick and I'll kind of show you what I mean. Let's see, where's our fabric? So you could lay this fabric down, and if you have like, you could lay your design on top, and you could, I mean, you can actually just kind of see by doing this, but you could get like some chalk and put some chalk on the back and then trace the design on, so you have that little white line. Or, I've used this like Serral transfer paper. You can use the white, and you stick a piece of white down here because I'm on this dark fabric. But the idea is you're tracing this entire design exactly where things are onto the back, and then you can actually see the exact spots. You'll actually see the outline of your guy on here. So then you can lay them in the exact places. I think what I'm going to do is I think I'll do kind of what I just did. I'll kind of place this here, kind of centered, and I'll be like, okay, this guy kind of goes here, and that guy goes here, so let's just kind of start laying it out. And then, luckily, you don't have to be permanent until you fuse it down. So I'm going to just kind of shimmy it in the background until it looks just right, and then we'll just do it that way. But look at how that red's going to look. That's going to be pretty. All right, let's finish cutting out this piece, and then I'll call it a night here. All right. But I think that's all I'm going to really do. But yeah, you could stitch the whole, or you could not stitch, you could draw that whole design on your background, and then you would you'd be able to see it to place your items a lot better, but I just don't want to do that. We're going to find that white tracing paper. So this is, I have this a sample pack of this, but it's Serral wax-free. Oh, here we go. You can look up Serral. I didn't put a link to it, but it's Serral wax-free transfer paper, and you can get the white. Yeah, Bonnie, I'm just going to eyeball it too, I think. If you're doing a lot of transferring onto a dark fabric, though, like a dark cotton fabric, this Serral paper with that white, that it really is actually nice, very nice. I do, if I'm transferring a embroidery pattern onto a dark fabric, and I'm not using, you know, the stick and stitch like I normally like using, that transfer paper, then I will, I'll use this white. I don't use it very often because I'm usually using the stick and stitch embroidery stabilizer. But every once in a while, I'll get this out. All right, there's that shape. Peek what that's going to look like. So we still have to peel. We have to peel the papers off of this side. I have a weird little snip right there. Let's just. Oh man, I think I got my fingers got completely. Look, I got like stuff all over my paper. So this must be dirty or something. I don't know. I got black marks all over my fingers from something. I don't know where that came from. We'll just see. Who knows? All right. Anyway, there's our two pieces for tonight, and we will work on all of these other little papers tomorrow. So we actually have the dark done though. So this fabric is done. So we're going to be moving on from that tomorrow. So, all right, I'm going to flip you around, and we'll call it an evening here. There, hello again. Yes, so I think this red is going to be really, really pretty. And once we get all the sewing and everything in there, the thread painting, it's just going to be just really, really fun. I'm excited. I've never done the thread painting before, so that'll definitely be new to me. It's quite difficult to find this large size of tracing paper. Yeah, I mean, you'll have to do it in parts for sure, because this is a large applique. So I would just eyeball it. I mean, that's what I'll be doing. So, and I'll be doing that here. So let's finish up these other applique pieces tomorrow. That shouldn't take, I mean, it'll take a while. Everything takes a while, right? But I think we should be able to start laying it out tomorrow as well. I'm hoping so. So yeah, we'll get that applique going. So awesome, you guys. So thanks again. I will get this up on YouTube when I'm done here, and I'll be back tomorrow. And again, last week to get the houseplants embroidery of the month pattern. You get an extra day because it's you get the 29 this month, leap year. So awesome. Have a great evening, you guys. Nice seeing you. Good night.